Next, we need to graph two quadratic equations. So when you're graphing quadratic equations, you need to take the equation and put it in standard form or vertex form so that we can see the vertex. So remember that when we do that, we group together the x squared term and the x term, then we put in a plus blank. Slide that constant over and put in a minus blank. When you fill this in, half of 6 is 3, squared is 9. Since I added 9, I also need to subtract 9, which means my equation is going to be y equals x plus 3, quantity squared, minus 2. That tells me my vertex is at negative 3, comma, negative 2. Then I need to ask the questions like, does it open up or down? Is it the standard shape? That type of thing. Okay, let's graph this. Now I can see that my vertex is at negative 3, negative 2, so that's where I put my first point. It is the standard shape and it opens up, so I can go over one, up one, put in my next point. I can come back to my vertex, and I can go over 2, up 4 for my next point. If I wanted to, I could come back to my vertex and go over 3, up 9. Which would be right here. Now because parabolas are symmetric, I can mirror those straight across and get points on the other side of my parabola, and then I can draw my parabola. And then here's the drawing of my parabola. Okay, let's look at the next part. Okay, we also have to graph two quadratic inequalities. Now just to review the process for that, the first thing we need to do is to put in an equal sign and look at the boundary. So that would be y equals x minus 1, x plus 3. This one's, because of the symbol that's here, it's greater than or equal to, so I am going to make it a solid border. But this is a weird looking equation. I don't have the right information that I need. I need to take that and actually multiply it out, and I get x squared plus 3x minus 3, so I get x squared plus 2x minus 3. Okay, now I need to complete the square. So I'm going to put the x squared plus 2x plus blank, scoot the negative 3 over, and put minus blank. I'm going to fill that in. Half of 2 is 1, squared is 1. So I'm going to put a 1 in both of those blanks. And it looks like the equation for my border is y equals x plus 1, quantity squared, minus 4. Alright, so I'm going to graph that parabola. Okay, I've graphed my parabola, and my last thing that I need to do is test a point to see where I'm going to shade. Now, in general, the easiest point to test is usually the origin. So I'm going to test 0, 0. You can pick any point you want as long as it's not on your border. So I put it in the very original problem, y greater than or equal to x, which is 0 minus 1, and then 0 plus 3. Okay, so I get negative 1 times a positive 3. That's a negative 3. So y greater than or equal to negative 3. Now, I'm supposed to put 0 in for x and for y, so I'm going to take this out and I'm going to put 0 for my y in both places. So is it true that 0 is greater than or equal to negative 3? That is true. So if it's true, you shade the part that has your test point, which is in the middle. So that means for my graph, I'm going to shade what's inside this parabola. And that's my solution. Okay, the last part of this says to graph one polynomial function. And here are the steps that we follow to do that. Now, I'm going to take the polynomial function that we looked at earlier in the chapter review. Because we've already gone through and done the synthetic division, found the factors, and found the zeros. So let's take a look at what this equation is when we get it all factored. Okay, find the y-intercepts and graph it. So to do that, we let x equal 0 and we solve. So if I let x be 0, I'm going to want to do that in the top equation because I get 0, 0, 0, negative 12. So it looks like my y-intercept is 0, negative 12. Okay, next we need to find our zeros, and we already did that previously. We found out that the zeros, which come directly from the factored form, the zeros are negative 1, negative 4, and positive 3. Okay, the next part says make an XY table to find at least one point between the zeros. So if I do my XY table, I need to put something to the left of negative 4, so I'm going to put in negative 5. I'm going to put something between negative 4 and negative 1, so I'm just going to do negative 3. Between negative 1 and 3, I'll put 0 in because I already know that one. I get a negative 12. And then to the right of 3, I'm going to put 4. Now, because this is an x cubed, I do know that my right-hand behavior is going up and to the right, and my left is going down and to the left. And that will be helpful when I go to graph this. Okay, let's take a look at the graph. Alright, now when I draw my graph, first of all I need negative 5, negative 32. So negative 32 is already off my graph. So that tells me that this particular part of my graph is really pretty steep. Now, in between the negative 4 and the negative 1, I've got the point negative 3, comma, 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's my point right there. So I need to go up to that point and then come back down. I have the point 0, negative 12, and 1, negative 20, which is down here. So I'm going to come all the way down here. I'm going to turn back up, go through this x-intercept, and then because I have the point 440, that's pretty steep there as well. Okay, now it's difficult for me to sketch these very well using my computer pen, so I'm going to actually show you the true graph of what that looks like. Okay, there you have the true graph. Now, as you graph these, I am really only asking for a sketch. I want to see the critical points. I want to see the zeros, the y-intercept, and you need to make a table so that I can see the points in between. But I'm really just looking for a sketch. You don't need to put 100 points in your table or anything like that. Okay, so that's how you graph a polynomial function. So I think that covers everything that's on the test. So I wish you well, and let me know if you have any questions.